Sheila Carter had always said the easiest way into a fortress was through its back door, and in Los Angeles Memorial Hospital the back door was a crisp white lab coat, a surgical blue mask, and the easy confidence of someone who belonged. Chaos after Hayes Finnegan's brief abduction meant every pediatric appointment was double-booked, hallways clotted with reporters, and overworked staff tearing through 12-hour shifts. Sheila watched from a passenger seat in the parking structure, memorizing badge colors and shift changes until she spotted her target, a traveling agency nurse lugging 2 suitcases and an overstuffed tote. In a stairwell 1 flight above street level, Sheila struck, a quick injection of ketamine into an unsuspecting thigh, a practiced catch as the woman collapsed, and in 3 minutes she had requisitioned the woman's ID, scrubs, and even her employee tablet. The real nurse slept behind a locked janitorial closet. Sheila, tucking gray streaks under a disposable bouffant cap, strode through the staff entrance and straight to pathology with the purposeful stride of someone summoned to fix a centrifuge. Electronic pass confirmed. She entered the dim lab, bypassed blood sample refrigerators, and located the low-security archive Finn had mentioned to Steffi months ago. Neonatal genetic panels backed up nightly on a hospital intranet Sheila knew she could breach with the hijacked tablet. A gloved thumb pressed where a biometric read was expected, and the system flashed green. 15 taps later, she scrolled to Hayes Finnegan Forrester, DNA sequence stored. Her pulse hammered. She downloaded the full genomic file onto an encrypted flash drive dangling from a stethoscope like a decorative charm. Step 1 complete. Steal the proof. Step 2. Shape a lie convincing enough to detonate the Forrester dynasty from the inside. She intended to recode specific markers so any cursory comparison would point not to John Finn Finnegan's paternal line, but to a Carter cousin languishing in county lockup for a burglary rap. Genetic detritus Sheila had collected years earlier for insurance. She planned to reveal that sample at a custody hearing, argue Finn's biological link was forged, and push the court to reconsider legal guardianship. The only variable she had not predicted was Luna Nozawa. Luna, desperate for redemption after her tracker scheme backfired, had been haunting the hospital corridors, determined to apologize to Finn in person. She turned a corner at the precise moment Sheila exited pathology, and recognition flashed behind her eyes despite the disguise. Luna froze, eyes widening, but instead of screaming for security, she followed at a measured distance until Sheila ducked into a disused records room. When Luna slipped inside, Sheila was waiting, syringe raised. Luna lifted her hands in surrender and spoke first. She knew what Sheila wanted, she said, because she had overheard enough during their last encounter to guess the endgame: undermine Finn, fracture Steffi, and pry Hayes free. Luna's voice trembled, but her proposition was clear: take her as a partner rather than a casualty. She had access codes from her internship in administrative design that could smooth digital forgeries, and she understood how Forrester PR channels could be weaponized to leak a scandal at maximum impact. In exchange, she demanded 2 things: financial backing to resurrect her ruined fashion label, and, more crucial, Sheila's guarantee that no physical harm would come to Hayes ever again. Sheila, intrigued, lowered the needle. Partnership required trust, but trust could be rented. They shook hands over a stainless steel desk while fluorescent lights flickered overhead like a drumroll. By midnight, Luna had logged into the pathology mainframe, overlaying alleles, splicing metadata so lab technicians reviewing any future test would flag a mismatch between Hayes and Finn. She borrowed Sheila's thumb drive, generated a doctored report bearing official irradiated watermarks, and saved it in a hidden folder set to email Steffi's attorney on a timed release 3 days before the next custody evaluation. a ticking bomb disguised as routine paperwork. Meanwhile, Sheila raided a supply cart for a vial of Hayes' blood, collected earlier that afternoon for a benign allergy screen. She introduced a microvolume of Carter DNA into the sample to ensure any retest in coming weeks would replicate the deception. Their exit nearly unraveled in the pediatric ward when a night orderly recognized Luna and asked why she was wearing staff credentials after visiting hours, but Luna faked a cough, muttered about misplaced charts, and Sheila swiftly produced a plastic pill cup, claiming they were returning specimen tablets. The orderly, exhausted, waved them through. Outside, wind whipped off the Pacific. Sheila and Luna climbed into a battered van purchased under alias. Inside, a portable sequencer hummed, verifying the hybrid blood sample's integrity. Luna watched numbers scroll across a green LCD and felt a queasy mix of triumph and dread. If the plan held, Hayes' parentage would be questioned, Finn's credibility shredded, Ridge's protective veneer cracked, and Steffi plunged into doubt she might never escape. Yet as the hospital's glow receded behind them, Luna pictured Hayes' sleepy smile, the way his small hand had clutched that plush Dalmatian, and regret twisted like barbed wire around her ribs. Sheila sensed the hesitation. She reminded Luna of commitments already written in digital ink, blackmail files ready to surface if Luna wavered. At dawn, Steffi awakened to a text alerting her that Hayes' lab work required a minor follow-up. She thought nothing of it, but Finn, reviewing the flagged file, noticed a new subfolder labeled Gene Analysis Pending. He frowned. No such order had been placed. He requested audit logs and found access recorded under a nurse ID he didn't recognize. Suspicion ignited. He phoned IT to quarantine the entry, even as he drove Hayes to preschool. Across town, Ridge met Bill Spencer over espresso to discuss expanded security protocols. Bill's analysts had detected an unusual burst of encrypted data leaving the hospital network overnight. Ridge's gut said Sheila. Bill's intel said an internal accomplice. Both men agreed. Tighten nets. Double-check every electronic trail. By lunchtime, Luna received a terse message from Sheila. Audit triggered. Timeline accelerating. Release report now. Panic stabbed. Luna argued delay would look less suspicious. Sheila replied with a video clip of Luna's brother accepting a duffel stuffed with pills, evidence that would bury him. Luna's phone slipped from shaking fingers. In a supply closet behind the Forrester Couture Salon, she logged into a media distribution hub, queued the forged PDF for anonymous delivery to LA Spectator, then clicked send. Within hours, the gossip site bannered breaking exclusive. Forrester airs paternity in question. Comments exploded. Ridge's assistant barged into a board meeting waving a tablet. Steffi saw the headlines seconds later and felt her knees weaken. Finn, at the clinic, fielded reporters before he even read the story. The article contained medical jargon, DNA graphs, and quotes from an unnamed hospital source insisting the data had been verified. In the executive office, Brooke, Taylor, and Thomas argued over crisis statements while Eric Forrester stared in bewildered fury. Bill mobilized lawyers to force a takedown, but the story had already been mirrored worldwide. Late afternoon, LAPD cybercrime called Finn. The nurse ID used for the file theft belonged to a woman missing since yesterday morning. Luna's stomach plummeted. Kidnapping now colored the narrative. She met Sheila in a shuttered downtown warehouse, demanded they pull back. Sheila laughed, triumphant. She revealed a plan to step forward publicly, offer emotional support to Steffi while quietly petitioning family court for visitation, leveraging the doubt to paint herself as the only honest link in Hayes' lineage. Luna protested that if the truth surfaced, they both would face charges far worse than forgery. Sheila's smile sharpened. She said truth is malleable when you hold the proof. She brandished the original thumb drive like an ace up her sleeve, unaware Ridge and Bill had placed a tracker on Luna's car after noticing her frantic arrival at the warehouse district. Sirens materialized, tires screeched outside. Sheila cursed, lunged for a side door. Luna hesitated, torn between self-preservation and her remaining shred of conscience. She grabbed the thumb drive from Sheila's hand and sprinted toward the police lights, shouting that she had evidence. Sheila doubled back, disappearing into labyrinthine corridors as sweat stormed in. Luna collapsed into Ridge's arms, sobbing, begging him to believe she could still fix this. Ridge signaled officers to secure the building. Bill retrieved the drive, his tech team already prepping decryption. Hours later, forensic analysis revealed tampering lines of code linking back to Sheila's burner laptop and Luna's pathology login. LAPD issued an APB for Sheila Carter. The nurse was found alive but sedated. Her statement corroborated the timeline. Finn, clearing haze through an independent genetics lab, received confirmation his son's original DNA matched his own unmistakably. No Carter markers present. He broke the news to Steffi, who wept with relief yet held lingering sorrow over Luna's participation. In a sterile interrogation room, Luna signed a plea agreement, testimony against Sheila in exchange for leniency and mandatory rehab. Ridge visited, told her redemption begins when actions match regrets. Luna promised to testify. Outside, the courthouse cameras flashed, headlines evolving from scandal to manhunt. Sheila, now the most wanted woman in California, watched from a roadside motel, eyes blazing as she mapped new routes to reclaim what she called destiny. A week passed. The Forrester family began repairing reputations, but each night Steffi double-checked Hayes' bedroom lock, and Finn slept with one ear tuned to hallway creaks, because until Sheila Carter was in chains, the threat lingered like a shadow stretching beyond every doorframe. Whether Sheila and Luna would ultimately reach their objective had been answered for now. Sheila's coup had failed. Luna had flipped. The stolen gene gambit lay in ruins, yet the deeper question hung unresolved. How many more doors would Sheila pry open before the saga ended? In Los Angeles, history said the Carter matriarch never truly lost. She only recalculated. And somewhere in the dark, recalculating is exactly what she did.